wisdom within. Jugad Gurindame, that wisdom, I bow to that wisdom that has been there through all the ages, through this whole experience. Sat Gurindame, to the true wisdom I bow. And Siri Gurudevaname, to the great true wisdom I bow. So let's sing this to that dance of the spirit on our breath. Feel this gift of life. Bowing to this gift of life.
I'll let that play in the background a little bit. I wanted it to open up with that because wisdom, I'm gonna need wisdom for this, and wisdom has been such an important part of this journey. And for me, wisdom, like the wisdom that has existed throughout all the ages, the primordial waters of creation. It's Sophia. It's Thoth. And hi, I'm Jaimy, aka the Acacia Goddess. Welcome to my channel. Truth Serum 444 Sacred Wisdom. So yeah, that is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mantra. As promised, I already said that I was gonna do part 2, or do another part to my duality video, so you guys can see how everything's going up with my initiation into duality, which has been very interesting. Now I see why they had me sit for a while and integrate and go back to the hermetic principles, go back to the emerald tablets, go back to the corpus hermeticum. Because I did have a lot to integrate. And when I was first learning the hermetic principles, I was taught by a very, very talented soul. And I understood some of them. But as my journey progressed as a medicine woman, as a priestess, I started diving deeper into true wisdom, like the wisdom that Solomon prayed for, the wisdom that comes with Thoth, the wisdom that comes with Sophia, the wisdom that Odin plucked his fucking eyes out and hung upside down. Wisdom. So she has been walking me through these initiations, and I feel ready now to talk a little bit more about this, because I've had to experience and actually go through a lot of initiations in my life to understand this universal law. As always, the guest of honor, Mary Jane. I wanted it to be like this, like you're sitting down having a conversation with me. I got a little bit of coffee there. I got my blunt. I want this to flow easy. I want to serve as a open, sacred, pure channel, and I want this this wisdom and this knowledge to receive you guys the right way, because finding words, human words for these teachings is not as easy as one may think. So I did do a lot of praying, meditating, and I asked Goddess Isis to help, worker of words of magic and power, to give me the right words to speak. And even now I'm still like So yeah, grab a drink, roll yourself a joint, get comfortable, and let's chat. Let's chat about duality. If you see me looking down, is because I have, when I say notes, it literally, this page front and back, this page front and back, this page front and back, this page, like I have notes. Like I wanted to come correct for you guys. Because if we, the more of us that wake up, the faster and the more effective this ascension will be. So let's do this. I wanted to go ahead and start off with kind of like a little bit of a definition, because working with duality made me understand. Let's start with this. Duality. The idea that the universe is made up of contrasting pairs or complementary aspects. For everything exists, there is an opposite that balances. So basically, duality is an overarching concept that ties the law of polarity and the law of gender together, creating balance. Why did I decide to open up with that? Because when I was getting my downloads, the word that they kept repeating was duality, 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 duality. Okay, and duality in the sense of good, evil, light, dark, hero, villain. So that, me being the methodical Scorpio priestess that I am, right, that led me into diving deeper. So I'm like going through the hermetic principles again, and I'm gonna read you a little summary, like a little minor definition before we dive even deeper, of the law of polarity and the law of gender. Because I was like, okay, let me read this for a second. I wrote this. The law of polarity. What is a law of polarity? Basically, a short, simple definition. The law of polarity is basically everything exists in opposites. Opposites are two ends of the same spectrum, which then in turn led me to think of the law of vibration, because basically that means that they exist on the same frequency except for in the polar sides, right? Okay, I hope I said that right. Bear with me, okay? Meaning they exist on the same frequency. But that ties the law of vibration directly in. But let's push the law of vibration aside for a second. Law of gender. Everything has masculine and feminine properties. Everything, and not masculine and feminine just in the sense of male and female. Like everything is composed of masculine and feminine. So when I was retouching up on the hermetic principles and the emerald tablets, I was like, duality basically is both of these laws together, because it ties them directly. Like I said in the beginning, duality is an overarching concept that ties the law of polarity and gender together, creating balance. So how is that possible? And let's get into that. And why is it important for you to understand this and for us to understand this? Cheers. A little bit of coffee. That's my chair squeaking, my office chair. Let me go ahead and smudge a little bit. I'm gonna keep my blunt. Yeah, I know This content is obviously not made for children. I'm smudging with white sage right now. Just clear the energy a little bit. Start off with a nice neutral clean base, because honestly that's a good segue. Neutrality and ambiguity when going and understanding and integrating this specific universal law is vital. It is extremely vital to be able to stand in an ambiguous, biased, and neutral place, which has been a little bit of, it's been difficult for me, because I am I'm a very emotional person. I lead with my heart, and going back to the hermetic principles reminds you and teaches you that the universe is mental, and sometimes you have to lead with your mind. So it's really important to have an eagle eyes perspective on this and calling your higher self, because of what I just said. Emotions, the human ego, and all that. It just takes a higher version of yourself to be able to truly integrate and apply this. Let's start off by saying that symbolism is literally the language of the gods. Symbolism, synchronicities, it's the language of the gods. Okay, so duality. Everything exists in exact polar opposites, yet on the same frequency. Like I said before, that's getting into the law of vibration as well. For example, love, hate, light, dark, good, evil, hero, villain, life and death, sorrow, joy, they all exist on the same frequency, except for they are on polar sides of the spectrum of the frequency. It reminds me of the term, you can only truly hate somebody you love. Interesting, because this is a little download that I got last night that I wasn't planning on incorporating it, but if they gave me the download for it, why not, right? Karmics, twin flames, and soulmates, mainly twin flames though. Fuck. They are here to help us understand this too. Duality. How something can exist literally on the same frequency but be completely opposite. The ultimate yin yang of the universe. That's one of the things that ties directly into symbolism being the language of the gods, because I mean, now I understand why they'd rather just put a yin yang sign or a hunab ku and create something intricate through their art rather than trying to word this, because it's not as easy as it looks. The interesting part of duality is that these extreme sides, let's use the example of the hero and the villain, right? The hero and the villain cannot exist without each other. They cannot. Okay, what is the hero without the villain? Who would he be? Who would the hero be? He or she without the villain, right? And who would the villain be without the hero? Without the hero, the villain wouldn't be a villain. It would just be another person, right? But the contrast of it makes them both extremely crucial. What would good be without evil? Can light exist without shadow? Can shadow exist without light? Okay? These are the things that Thoth, aka Hermes Trismegistus, came to teach us. These are, whether you like it or not, these are universal truths woven into the very fabric of our existence and what makes up this matrix, whether you like it or not. So you might as well try to understand it and integrate it. Okay. Here's another example. You would not, okay. You would not know joy, or better yet, understand joy without having experienced sorrow. How the fuck would you understand what it is to be happy if you've never been extremely sad? And if you've never been extremely happy, would you even be able to identify feeling sad? You know what I mean? So it's interesting how those things are all interwoven together, and why it's important to understand this. I'll let you know soon. Let me just flow with it. Okay, what else did I write? Light would not be light without the dark, for without walking through immense darkness, you would not know what it is to be in the light, let alone understand the light. When you begin diving deeper and you begin to understand that both polars, whether perceived as good or bad, need each other, like the hero and the villain archetypes Dr. Carl Jung talked about in shadow work, the hero would not be the hero without the villain, and vice versa. Let me back up for a second, because this is where it gets a little bit heavy. When it comes to things like light and dark, that's when this initiation gets heavy for spiritual people, because we can use the terms light, dark, good, evil, right? But let's stick to light and dark, right? Let's stick to a more neutral term. Most of the light workers that I know, most of the shamans, priestesses, chosen ones, anointed ones, pastors, priests, most of them had to endure immense, hold on, my lips are peeling, my bad. Most of them had to endure an immense amount of darkness to even be able like I was saying, most of the light workers and the chosen ones and anointed ones that I know had to endure an immense amount of darkness. Without going through that darkness, they would not have been able to appreciate and truly understand and embody light. Know thy enemy, right? Know thy enemy. Also appreciate the light as well. Now, this is when things get a tad bit more mental and when you have to like let wisdom take the wheel. Because if you're extremely religious or spiritual, or like ride hardcore and haven't gone through initiations around balance yet, then you start asking questions about like good and evil and things of that nature, which that's a deeper part of the initiation. I've noticed to truly understand this cosmic and universal law requires balance and neutrality. You have to get out of your feelings about a lot of shit. Especially when I was talking earlier about the twin flame thing. Like, why did they hurt me? Why did they do this to me? That's you being in your feelings. Then when you set up like a council with your higher self, it's like it was for your soul's evolution. How would you have known to protect your boundaries if you didn't go through a situation where somebody completely almost destroyed you? How would you have learned how to love unconditionally if we didn't put you guys through these trials and errors? How would you know, like, vamos caminando hacia el sol. The song that's playing in the background is perfect, because these are all extremely important processes for your soul's evolution. And it forces you to do shadow work as well. That's where like the hero and villain thing, that's where Dr. Carl Jung comes in, because once you start understanding this and also understanding the law of gender, masculine, feminine, and how they exist in everything, as within, so without, you know what I mean? And you get mirrors held up to you. That's when you have to integrate this. And also the as without part, look at how duality is playing out in our planet right now. I do not talk about politics, but I will speak on a spiritual standpoint. If you guys don't see what's happening, and if you guys don't know about certain prophecies, whether it's in this book or whether it's Revelations here or the Hopi prophecy here, or if you guys don't see what's happening by now, then I want to say this without sounding condescending, but I'm not even going to go there. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that duality is playing out right in front of our eyes right now. And if we learn how to hold space with more neutrality and more balance, and we learn how to observe these things rather than absorb them, maybe, just maybe, we can stop arguing amongst ourselves, and we can make those changes within ourselves, which will then reflect outwards, and it'll cause ripple effects. And then we can get into the law of vibration and how that can literally fucking shift reality. Okay? And how you can manifest from that point, and how we can make a change in all of this. Both extremes are extremely necessary for the soul's evolution and for the balance of this universe. That's when the law of gender ties in as well, because like the law of polarity, it teaches us, or more leads us towards duality. And then the hermetic principle known as the law of gender and the emerald tablets, that basically states that everything in this universe is both masculine and feminine. There is a balance that needs to be maintained. A balance between stability, safety, foundation, strength, and so on. that masculine energy brings, okay, so like the masculine energy brings stability, safety, foundation, strength, right? Now, feminine energy brings nurturing, it's compassionate, healing, divine feminine intuition, wisdom. And we need both masculine, and we need both of those energies. It's about balance, it's about harmony, and not the kumbaya harmony. I'm talking about balance, harmony, and everything flowing in divine cosmic law. This is a good point. Learning how to step outside of your emotions and look at everything with a higher self perspective will help a lot. I said that earlier, but it's in my notes, so it's worthy of repeating. So basically, to sum this all up, everything exists in polar opposites. We need both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and duality is necessary. Those things that you went through were necessary for your soul's evolution, and to understand the good and to understand the bad. Okay, applying this law and learning more about this law is going to help a lot of us in these times right now, truly. And I would suggest diving deeper into the law of vibration. If I feel called to, I will, but I kind of embody it more. We'll see where spirit leads me. I move with spirit, okay? And I truly, this has been, for me, a hard one, because the universe used pain to teach me and to integrate this. It used pain, it used betrayal, it used abandonment, while at the same time showing me miracles. It used life, it used death, it used gain, it used loss. I had to experience both polars of almost everything that you can fucking imagine. Good, evil. That's why I don't even want to get too deep into that. We're already at 29 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and sum it up here, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I want to make a video talking about tomorrow, because tomorrow is 1/1. It's 11/11. This is a number 1 year. This is a number 1 month, and then tomorrow's the 11th. So tomorrow's 11/11, and that number carries so much power, and you can't miss this one. So I need to make time to make some content for that. For now, I'm gonna leave you guys right here. I hope you liked it, and yeah, sending so much love, integration, wisdom. Remember, balance is key. Balance is key. Balance and neutrality is fucking key. Stick with your fucking higher self. Follow your third eye. Follow your intuition. Follow your intuition and get out of your feelings. That's what this energy calls for. Stay blessed, and if you like my content, like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know if you've had experiences with this. And nothing. Sending love. Mwah.